Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of One Piece, which is on chapter 841. Now, this chapter right here, pretty cool, not too bad. Although, it is talking more about Sanji's backstory, and then future, and then what happened in the future later, you know. But we also have to it that one of Sanji's siblings is not as bad as we thought. Despite her certain words early in this chapter, though, to Sanji, that is, in the present time. So, if anything else, let's just get this started. Okay, after Sanji has been locked up, we have to it that there's this guy who's been feeding Sanji lately with all this stuff, and especially after 6 months of Sanji's imprisonment, he's been giving food and all these other good stuff lately of what's been happening. You know. Of course, there's some people talking about VIP refugee or putting money on the king's new mistress or something. Despite all that, we have to it that Sanji, on the other hand, is just eating his way and just looking and remembering the screaming and yelling and looking at Vinsmoke Judge loving his children after seeing how they become so strong besides Sanji, you know. But we have to it, of course, that Sanji himself does try to make some food, you know, but it does not tend to work out. But we also get to know, as Sanji as a kid, he does try to go to a certain location where he tries to go to a certain location where how am I supposed to say it? Where someone is at a medical hospital, but surprisingly it is Sanji's mother. And I'm thinking in my mind, holy crud, it's really her. And she looks really beautiful, and despite giving out some food to his mother while she's in the medical hospital apparently, she said it was really good, despite the maid saying it was so spicy and disgusting in a certain way, you know? But, yeah, I'm really surprised about that. And she even ate the whole thing. And despite all of that, she does die eventually, obviously. And of course, Sanji somehow asked the guy for some cookbook and utensils. And all of a sudden, he reads something about the all blue, and then it was pretty awesome there. But apparently, of course, his brothers does find out that he's not dead, and they do beat the living crackalack out of him. Reiju, on the other hand, Sanji's sister would like to jump in, but she says she's not going to be a target, you know. Those three has turned out to be ultimate warriors that they has been dreamed of, but they're incapable of feelings of empathy or sympathy. The modifications were successful on her body as well, but she's nothing like them. She even tells Sanji that they're about to climb the red line and starting wars in the East Blue. Of course, it'll start 3 weeks from now. As for the brothers, they do continue beating him up, and he therefore says he wants to become a chef right now. Although, he tells her to Reiju, but she says stop blurring these things out right now, you know? But we have to it that Sanji wants to run away and never see his father's face again. Although, Reiju was reluctant to do this or even want Sanji to do this, but she lets him anyway by opening the bars for him and tells him to escape, which is a good thing because you know what? One of my friend's videos, which he mentioned that she's the one that is totally different from her brothers, you know, and helps Sanji escape. And that is pretty much the case. My friend's theory is true, which I consider him my brother in YouTube, even though I haven't met him in a live expectation. Although when Sanji tries to escape, we have to it that Judge ends up seeing him and says, I don't remember giving you permission to leave your cell. And we have to see to it that he says your stay in the basement seems to have some adverse effects on your manners. And he says you're nothing more than a commoner. There's no way someone of your ilk could survive the harsh realities of this world, and it'll be certain death of you. And then Sanji says, yeah, you think I care? Try and stop me, you freaking little... I don't know. But one thing for sure, Judge does see that Sanji is trying to leave. And then he finally admits to this. No matter how much I try, I can never kill you or dispose of you with my own hands, no matter how useless and pathetic you are. Now that the opportunity presents itself and now you're getting out of here, I I can't stop you. So why would I stop you? Go ahead, take the Iron Mask key to the Iron Mask while you're at it. But he also has one last thing to tell Sanji before he leaves, and this regarding familial ties. You are not to ever identify yourself as my offspring. You are a sole blemish in my life, the one thing I'm ashamed of. Do I make myself clear? Although Sanji finally understands that, he finally cries with everything he's got. Even Reiju herself cries after hearing all that noise and racket, you know? And by that time, Reiju finds a ship for Sanji that he could go on and tells him to get on there. And therefore, she also tells him that you're not allowed to come back to us. And the word she says reminds me of Jaguar D. Soul's words that he said to Robin. She said, one day you're definitely going to meet people who will treat you the way you deserve to be treated. Just like Hogwarts D. Soul words, but different to Robin by saying, someday you will find friends that will protect you and protect you from the world and so forth. And therefore, besides the similarities of me saying that, Sanji decides to run off with all of his might, and therefore Reiju says the last words to him, don't look back and keep going, you know? And we have too that Sanji does get his butt handed by his brothers, although we do know why. Because of those suckers threatening Sanji of what's up and so forth, there's a reason why he can't really fight back. And of course, Reiju tells the doctors to move it or lose it, and therefore she even says to Sanji, dude, that face is really messed up and you're about to see your fiance. It's just some restaurant owner you used to work with or grew up with. Why do you care about it so much? You must have known what will happen when we'll come here. I know you have very few pleasant memories about this place, Sanji. And I'm thinking in my mind, Reiju, of course it may be a place that he, that he worked with and grew up with, but that's what he honed everything from what he wanted to be as a chef. And also Zeph taught him, or he taught himself how to fight by copying Zeph's style with his legs. Besides all that, Reiju's opinion about the restaurant he worked in, we have to it that in the seducing words, after 11 hours of the beginning battle with Luffy and Cracker, or Biscuit Boy, we have to it that Luffy is totally full. We get to know his tactic was like eat and run, fight, run, eat, repeat all the time. He's getting sick and tired of the strategy of his, But we have to it that Nami says, I thought he was exaggerating when he said he could produce an infinite amount of biscuit warriors. But we have to it that Luffy says, yeah, that doesn't freaking matter because his stamina isn't freaking infinite, and that is true unless you're a freaking high-tech god or a highly trained warrior. Well, even if you are a highly trained warrior, using devil fruit abilities or so or anything else tends to drain your stamina, and you have to train your body for that. Any human being should know that. I mean, we all train our bodies just to get stronger so we can last longer. Lucky for Luffy, he thought of an idea of eating his way of the soldier biscuits, which made me laugh hysterically because he's fat and tall, and the guy warns the guy, oh, look at what you are now, you're gonna explode and die and so forth. But Luffy says, go ahead, bring on what you got, okay? Because you know what? It's gonna take a hell of a lot to stop me from seeing Sanji. So we have to it that in this chapter, simple bullet points if you're confused and so forth, that we get to know more about Sanji's backstory, how he escaped, how he managed to get onto the ship, and how that thing connects to the rest of his backstory back in the very beginning of One Piece, And that's a good thing. And so forth. And we do know Vince McJudge does have some humanity, although I still view him as a mother piece of crackalack because of how he treats Sanji. But at least he admits to a point where he can't even dispose him or even kill him. So yeah. As the chapter continues, of course, Reiju does give him words of advice that reminds me of Jaguar's D Soul words to Robin. Just saying that and repeating myself about that. And Sanji, on the other hand, gets a few words from Reiju after getting his butt handed by his three brothers, and we get to know why, of course. Something's holding him back from not letting him to fight back or use all of his power. And of course, let me see here. We have to it that Luffy found a way how to fight Cracker's abilities and so forth, but I've always wondered throughout the past 11 hours, who helped Luffy after he lost his gear of fourth power? But I'm pretty sure it's Nami who helped him out as well. But Luffy, eat, run, fight, run, eat, repeat. It's funny. So until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm off the Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye bye.